If you're a spiritual seeker, the chances are good that you're familiar with the concept of surrender. And typically we think of surrendering to the divine in situations where something is challenging. I'll give you a personal example. I had gotten out of a marriage, and there were three things I needed to get. I needed to get a job, I needed to get a new car, and I needed to get a place to live. And of course, the responsibility in me was like, I need to get a job, I need to get a job. I was interviewing, I was doing well, but I was emotionally bankrupt at that point. And so finally I said, okay, God, what do you want me to do? And I was told very clearly that it wasn't time to get a job yet. And this was years ago. And so I gave that up, and I said, all right, show me the way. Within 10 days, I had the other two things. I had found the house that I'm sitting in right now, which was absolutely perfect for me, and the perfect new car for me. And about 8 months later, I was literally invited to coffee and given a job without applying, because I had surrendered, and I was able to do that, of course. But that's an example of surrender, of just listening to your guidance, listening to what God wants you to do, regardless of what name you use for God. I'd like to invite you to take it a step farther, because I've just realized recently that there is a really beautiful thing that we can do. What about surrendering to good? What about surrendering to outrageously wonderful things? What about surrendering to health? Surrendering to the beauty of nature? Surrendering to effortless intention and effortless alignment with the divine? What about surrendering to prosperity and all that it takes to get there? And most of all, what about surrendering to unconditional love? What about surrendering to all the good things you can imagine that I haven't thought to mention? Are we blocking those things because of things we believe that aren't really true? Look within yourself. Sometimes we need help to find those blocks, but I invite you to surrender to the best that you can imagine and beyond.